Hi, this is Bruce Lemieux. Taking a look at the demographics for the Montgomery County Public School System reveals information about the school system itself, but also reveals information about the overall county demographics. So let's take a look at the demographics and see if we can learn some things. All the information that you'll find in this video is taken from the Montgomery County Public School System Master Plan for 2011. This is an excellent document full of tons of information and stats. I highly recommend it to anyone who wants to learn about our school system here. So in this video we'll take a look at the breakdown of student ethnicity for elementary and high schools in Montgomery County, take a look at the percentage of students on free and reduced meals in each school, number of students for which English is not their native language, and lastly the mobility rate, and that's the rate of the number of students into and out of a particular school within a school year. Okay, so the first demographic we'll look at is the percentage of African American students within each elementary school. Now before we take a look at this metric in particular, I want to note that each dot represents an elementary school. The bigger the dot, the larger the school. Colors will go from blue to red. Red is more of whatever metric we're taking a look at, and blue would be less of the metric we're taking a look at. So looking at the percentage of African American students within each elementary school, we'll see that a school will have anywhere from 1% to 70% African American students. Those in red will have more African American students, and those with the deep blue would be less of those. In this scale, the 35% is the average on this spectrum, and we'll also show the median, so half of the schools will have more than 19% African American students, and half of the elementary schools will have less than 19% of their population of African American students. Here's a look at the number of Asian students in a student population. This will go anywhere from 3% to 48% of the school population, with the average being 20% and 13% the median. Hispanic students will make up anywhere from about 3.5% of a student population to 76%, 40% is the average, and 18% is the median. The last ethnic group is the number of white students, which will go from about 0.6% to 82% of a school's population, 41% being the average on this spectrum, with the median school having 36% white student population. The mobility rate of an elementary school will go from about 1% to 32%, average 17%, with the median school having 13% mobility rate. The number of students on free and reduced meals will go anywhere from 0.6% of a school's population to 90%. The median school will have 27% of the population on the free and reduced meal plan. And lastly, here's a look at the number of students for whom English is a second language. This will go anywhere from about 1.3% of a school's population to 69%. In the median school, English is a second language for 16% of the school's population. Okay, so let's take a look at these demographics for the high schools. There are 25 high schools in Montgomery County. This is where they're at, and again, the bigger the dot, the bigger the population. School population will run from about 1,150 students to almost 2,800 students. Montgomery-Blair is the biggest and Poolesville is the smallest. The average student population is around 1,800 students. Each of the high schools will correspond to a cluster except for the Northeast Consortium, which is made up of these high schools, and the Down County Consortium, which is made up of these schools. Here's a look at the percentage of African American students in each high school. This will run from about 5% to 51% of the school's population, with 22% being the median. The high schools with the highest percentage of African American students would be Blake, Paintbrush, and Springbrook in the Northeast Consortium. Those with the lowest would be Poolesville, Wooten, and Whitman. The percentage of Asian students within a high school will run from about 5% to 34% of the school population, 13% being the median. The schools with the highest Asian population would be Wooten, Richard Montgomery, and Churchill. Those with the lowest include Damascus, BCC, and Northwood High School. The percentage of Hispanic students will run from 5 to 57% of a school's population, with the median school having 20% Hispanics. The schools with the highest Hispanic population include Wheaton, Kennedy, and Albert Einstein. Those with the lowest are Poolesville, Wooten, and Churchill. And here's a look at the number of white students within a high school. This will run from 9% of a school's population to 75%, 35% being the median. The schools with the highest percentage of white students would be Damascus, Poolesville, and Whitman. Those with the lowest include Wheaton, Kennedy, and Springbrook. Mobility rate for a high school will be from about 3% to 20%, with the median being 12%. Those with the lowest mobility rate and the most stable student body would be Poolesville, Wooten, and Churchill. Those with the highest mobility rate include Seneca Valley, Watkins Mill, and Northwood. The percentage of students on free and reduced meals go from about 3% of the population to 57%. 25% is the median. Those with the highest percentage include Watkins Mill, Wheaton, and John F. Kennedy. Those with the lowest are Poolesville, Churchill, and Walt Whitman high schools. And our last demographic is the number of students for whom English is the second language. This goes from 0% of the population to 17%. 5.8% is the median. Those with the highest include Gaithersburg High School, Wheaton, and Montgomery Blair. There are 4 high schools with 0%, and that is Poolesville, Northwest Damascus, and Churchill. Okay, to get more information about our school system, you can go to our website, MoCoRealEstate.com/schools, or give us a call at 301-527-9079. Hope you found this information useful, and thanks for watching.